What's going on, guys? I am with the Moose, and today I'm doing my 20,000 subscribers Q&A. Now, first off, thank you for 20,000 subscribers. Also, I am doing a face cam right now. Thank you guys for leaving a ton of comments. You guys can see 3 of them right here that asked me to do a face cam, and I've done it a couple times in the past. I did it for 10,000 subscribers, I believe. That was kind of a one-off video, and I haven't used this thing ever pretty much since then. It's almost been a year now. Not a year, probably like 9 months or so. And it's been pretty crazy. I really want to use it more. It's something that I never had the software for, so I always kind of messed it up. I did one with a pack opening. You guys were like, "Oh, the pulls are all off. You're talking before the pulls are happening," and stuff like that. So finally got it fixed, I believe. Let me know if you guys think the quality is good down below. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. You guys are gonna be seeing some Overwatch gameplay in this. Hopefully, you guys do enjoy that. Leave some comments if you do enjoy some Overwatch, and I might be able to get some more out to you guys. But let's hop right into the Q&A and see where it takes us. First question here is from Bobo Hayes. He asks, when did you start YouTube? Now, this is a question a few people ask me every once in a while, and I started a few years back. So I started at the end of my senior year in high school. Right now I'm a junior, or I should say a senior in college, going into be a senior in college. And I started basically at the end of my senior year in high school. So what was that, 3 years ago now? Yeah, almost 3 years now, almost on the dot. So that's a lot of fun, and I've had a good ride. 20,000 subscribers, pretty good. Some people go crazy and they get to a million within a few months. Some people don't even ever get to 20,000 subscribers. So I'm pretty happy with my success so far. And yeah, it's been about 3 years since I started YouTube. Pretty insane. Kind of going off that, 524 Gaming asks, did you ever think you'd get this far on YouTube? Now, the answer is no, but I also thought I could. I believed in myself. I believed I could get to this point, but I definitely didn't expect to do that, if you know what I mean. So pretty much the reason I started YouTube, at least, was to play Call of Duty. So what I wanted to do was just make gameplay commentaries. I was pretty good at the game. That's what I wanted to do, and I thought, maybe I could get to like 5,000 and maybe 10,000 subscribers for sure. And I couldn't even imagine getting to 20,000 or even having 3.2 million views, which is what I have right now, and that goes up every single day. I think that stat is almost cooler to me than 20,000 subscribers. Is that over 3 million times people have clicked on a video of mine and watched it. I think that's awesome, and it's really, really cool to know that just people enjoy my content and that you guys like to watch. Next question's from Ballin' Like CP3. He asks, why did you want to start YouTube? Congrats, I've been here since 9K. Thank you, man. Seen you comment on a lot of videos, so I appreciate that. But why did I want to start YouTube? That's a good question. Now, I kind of mentioned it in the previous question. I wanted to do Call of Duty content. The channel name is actually WTMCOD, like Call of Duty. So that's pretty much what it was about. I posted a ton of Call of Duty. I posted a ton of Black Ops 2. That was my main game that I started on. That was the game that was out when I started YouTube. And then I went into Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts when that started. But I kind of hated that game, not gonna lie. Call of Duty Ghosts was not that great. I know that's kind of the popular opinion on the internet as well. Now, because that game wasn't so great, and I still love video games, obviously, I kind of transitioned to playing more Madden. And I finally got into Ultimate Team. Now, I had Madden before that, but I had never really played MUT before. That was MUT 25 at the time, and I had never really played MUT before. I kind of delved into it a little bit, but not, anything crazy. And I just fell in love with the game instantly. It was so much fun. A ton of fun collecting the cards, making your team better, stuff like that. And, that's kind of why I transitioned from Call of Duty. It was completely Call of Duty, no sports games, anything like that. Completely transitioned from Call of Duty to Madden, and then eventually MLB, obviously, and some NBA here and there. But mostly MUT and MLB is where my channel's at now, and I think it's kind of a good spot. I love sports. That's one of my favorite pastimes. As you guys can see, there's like posters behind me with sports. There's like Red Sox poster right behind me right here, and obviously there's a Call of Duty poster on my other side, because you guys can see that I still love Call of Duty as well. Now, that's pretty much where it started. I wanted to be a Call of Duty YouTuber. It wasn't working out completely, and I really didn't enjoy Ghosts, and transitioned to being, a more MUT and MLB YouTuber, and it's worked out great, and I still love, all the games, and, it's been fun. This next question from Kim is a really good one I've gotten a few times, actually. It says, Q&A question, do you video game rage when you actually play the game, specifically talking about MLB, or do you actually really calm like you are in your commentary? Also for MLB, what do you press, X, square, or circle? And for that question, the X, square, or circle, I usually press X. Sometimes I'll press square, and if there's 2 strikes, sometimes I'll use circle, but for the most part, probably 85% of the time it's X. And then for the other question, am I as calm as I am in game while I am in commentary? Now, my commentaries are generally laid back. They're more informative, stuff like that. That's kind of what I want to be. I'm not the super entertaining guy. That's not me. I'm not going to lie to you guys about that. Now, pretty much I would say no. I rage kind of a lot in video games. I wouldn't say I yell at the screen, you know, I do every once in a while, don't get me wrong, but I definitely, you know, talk a lot. I speak a ton. Like whenever I'm playing, I'm you know, constantly you know, jibber-jabbering back at the game, even if there's nobody playing with me and I'm just, you know, kind of bickering at the game. But you know, I'm not like a super hardcore video game rager, but I can get there every once in a while, as I think most people can. And especially grinding for like Mutt Master and stuff, that is insane. That's you know, you should see behind the scenes. That's a little bit insanity. But for the most part, I don't rage too hard, you know, all the time. Next question is 524 Gaming asks, what was the first video game you ever played? Now that is a really tough one. I go back to pretty much PlayStation 2 is one of my first consoles. I had a Dreamcast when I was like really young, but I didn't remember it, and I had like what do you call it, Game Boy and whatnot, so I guess you could consider like Pokemon, you know, Red or Yellow or whatever I had. I can't remember what it was. That's probably my first like actual game. But then on PlayStation 2, I'm trying to remember what games we had. I think we had MLB 06 to show, and something else. I can't remember what it was, but we only had a couple games at that time, and then, you know, obviously got into more and more and got the Xbox 360. That was probably like the biggest transition, going from the PS2 to the 360, where the PS2 I probably got like 1 or 2 games a year, and then the 360 it was pretty much, you know, I'd get whatever game I wanted, you know, as long as I had the money for it. Obviously my parents would make me pay for that stuff, but you know, that was pretty much what it started. I'd say either like one of the Pokemons on Game Boy, or if you want to, you know, consider console, then like MLB 06 to show, or oh, it was Hitman. It was Hitman. That's what I had. Hitman when I was like 10. I don't even know how my mom let me get that, but had Hitman. I think it was called Blood Money or something like that, and MLB 06 to show were my first games I ever had on PlayStation 2. Now, LT Elite asks, he says, I love your Red Sox series, and I want to know who your favorite MLB player is and why. Now, my favorite baseball player currently has to be probably David Ortiz. He's just a legend. Like, I'm a huge Red Sox fan, as you guys probably know, and dude has just done everything. I mean, I pretty much, right when I started, you know, really becoming a fan when I was around like 8, 9, 10, that was when he, you know, started carrying the Red Sox. Huge postseason hits, just crazy stuff like that, and really propelled them to be an amazing, you know, team for like 10 years. Obviously, they had some downsides and stuff like that, but 3 World Championships in 10 years is pretty impressive, and a lot of that is due to David Ortiz. So I'd say David Ortiz is my favorite baseball player, and you know, that's pretty much why, just because he's just been such a boss for so long. Going off that, this question asks, as a fellow Red Sox fan, he's curious to hear my favorite Red Sox player of all time. His favorite is Pedro, and he says keep up the good work, so thank you, man. But you know, I would say probably Ortiz still, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, there's some great players all time in the Red Sox. Obviously, I love the career of Ted Williams. Now, obviously, I'm not old enough to remember him playing at all, or honestly even see many highlights, because back then there weren't too many highlights to go off of anyway. But looking back at like the stats and stuff, I just love doing that kind of stuff. Curt Schilling is a guy that brings to mind as a guy that I loved watching as a Red Sox. Just really fun, you know, carried the Red Sox in the ALCS with that bloody sock game, Game 6. That was amazing. Other stuff like that. I pretty much just love the history of baseball and the history of the Red Sox. So I don't know if I'd say I have a favorite Red Sox player of all time other than maybe Ortiz. But, you know, I just love the overall like history of the entire game. James asks, what do you think about having Overwatch as one of your main YouTube games? Now, this is something that I'd kind of considered, because I do love Overwatch, as you guys are seeing some gameplay here, of course. Hopefully you guys do enjoy that as well. Now, Overwatch is an awesome game. It's one that I've really taken to, like I said, and I could see it being part of my main YouTube game series like Mutt and MLB, but I also can't at the same time. It's just not similar enough to those games where the same audience is going to watch that. So it's kind of in the YouTube like meta, if you want to call it that, you know, I don't really want to alienate certain viewers because I'm posting, you know, a game that they didn't necessarily sign up for. So most of my viewers are fine with, you know, Mutt videos and MLB videos, because that's basically what I post. That's, you know, probably 99% of my videos are those. So when you see a video like that, you're not surprised by it, and you're fine with it, because, you know, you pretty much signed up to be a subscriber of a sports gaming YouTuber. So I would say making Overwatch one of my main games would be kind of odd. It might work. Like I said, if you guys want to see more Overwatch, let me know down in the comments down below. Always curious to hear your feedback on stuff like that. But I think it's more likely that if I had enough time, I can make a second channel with different games like Call of Duty, Overwatch, stuff like that, different things that I play, you know, in my quote-unquote free time, in my time that I don't play Mutt and MLB, and maybe I could get something like that. but it's definitely possible. As I said, let me know down in the comments down below if you guys would want to see Overwatch as a main game, or if you'd want to see a second channel, or if you don't want to see any of that, and you'd rather just have me stick to MUT and MLB. But I think it could work in one of those scenarios. Just let me know down in the comments down below. Sticking to Overwatch here, Humdrum Whales says, what is your favorite hero and least favorite hero in Overwatch? So my least favorite hero is definitely Hanzo. I really don't do well with him, and he also is really annoying to play against. You know, I'm just not good with him, I'm not gonna lie. And then when people are good with him, he's pretty strong, so it's kind of annoying to play against him, and I'm also not very good with him. Not a good combo to be, you know, on the high list of, you know, my favorite hero. So he's probably my least favorite. And then my favorite hero, at least currently, is Junkrat. I love the guy. You guys are probably seeing gameplay of him. I don't know, actually. I haven't recorded all the games for this yet, but you probably are, because I really do enjoy Junkrat. And, you know, the grenade launcher's fun, the little trap thing is fun, the concussion mine's fun, and I really do just enjoy Junkrat. And I also like Genji a lot. I think that's a character I've taken to a little bit, but I'd say Junkrat's my favorite, at least right now. Alright, so Olav asks, what are you studying? Like I mentioned, I'm going to be a senior in college now, closing in on the, you know, graduation and whatnot. Now, I am studying accounting in college. That is my, you know, that's my major, and I think it's pretty enjoyable. It's not, you know, the super most interesting thing in the world, but, you know, it keeps the world moving. Numbers are something I've always loved, and I really do enjoy it, so it's kind of fun. I like it, and that's what I'm doing. The Indo Smith asks, who is the best receiver in the NFL? No bias, please. Now, he knows I'm a Cowboys fan, obviously. Huge supporter of the channel. Thanks, Indo. I really appreciate it. Now, he does ask, who is the best receiver in the NFL? I would say right now it's Antonio Brown. That's who I think is the best receiver in the NFL. I had him on my fantasy team last year, carried me all the way to the playoffs. Unfortunately, couldn't, you know, get the job done and win, you know, my Super Bowl or whatever. But hey, Antonio Brown is an amazing receiver. Really can do it all. And honestly, even though he's kind of short, 5'10", you know, really not that prototypical like 6'5" receiver, he can still go up and get it. And they throw fade routes to him all the time. They throw whatever they want, because Antonio Brown is just that good. So he's probably, you know, the best receiver in the NFL, at least my personal opinion. Who.7 asks, hey Moose, how do you think the boys are going to do this year? So he's obviously referencing the Cowboys, and I think they have a chance to do very well. We'll see. The defense is still a concern. That D-line is going to be a real issue, especially at the beginning of the year with all the suspensions and whatnot. But I think they're going to go 10-6. That's my prediction, is 10-6, barring a huge injury in minicamp or something like that that is unforeseen. I think a 10-6 record is, you know, pretty reasonable to expect. Although I could see them going a little bit higher. I could see them going a little bit lower, maybe like a 9-7. But if they're all healthy and they have, you know, everyone there, like Romo's not hurt, Dez isn't hurt, guys like that, then I think a 9-7 record is pretty much the lowest they could go. This next question asks, what is your favorite MUT card of all time, and who is your favorite non-Cowboy player, current or past? Now, my favorite MUT card of all time is going to be kind of surprising. Maybe you guys don't really know, because you might have started MUT later or whatever, but in MUT 25, there were, you know, base legend cards for any legend in the game, and Thurman Thomas had a legend card in MUT 25, and that card was a beast. I loved it so much. I'll try to get a picture for you guys on screen so you guys can see it, and maybe jog your memory a little bit, but I love that card. And that's probably my favorite MUT card of all time. Now, who is my favorite non-Cowboy player, current or past? Wow, that's a really tough one. I would probably say Antonio Brown is definitely up there. I really like the guy. He's a lot of fun to watch. And like I was mentioning before, I do think he's the best receiver in the NFL, but that's, you know, pretty much because he is. Like, honestly, his stats just back it up, and he's a beast. I also really like Demaryius Thomas. Really like him a lot. And I'd say Peyton Manning was cool to watch for a while. It's cool to watch, you know, one of the best you know, quarterbacks of all time in my lifetime. Obviously, Tom Brady's cool as well, although I kind of have a bias against the Patriots. I don't really like them at all. If you guys have watched my videos before, you probably know that. But yeah, I'd say Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, you know, are really cool to watch. But I'd say my favorite players, at least, you know, current or past, probably Antonio Brown or Demaryius Thomas. Now, Sebi asks, who is my favorite Marlins player? That's an interesting question, kind of random. I don't really talk about the Marlins too often, but I would probably have to say D. Gordon or Giancarlo Stanton. Now, D. Gordon has been suspended this season for, you know, performance-enhancing drug use, so we'll see if he is able to come back and make a good impact on that team. But I really do like his play style overall. And then Giancarlo Stanton, just a monster, like just towering home runs, crazy home runs. Watching highlights of him is awesome. He's also on my fantasy team this year. Now, currently, kind of sucking. You know, can't really hit the ball at all, striking out a ton. But overall, I love those two guys. They're probably my two favorite Marlins players. This next question comes from a great supporter, Rob the Yankee, awesome guy. Thanks for commenting on almost every one of my videos, man. I really appreciate it. Now, he says, if you could make a band made up of your favorite artists, who would you pick and why? Now, this is going to be a kind of an odd answer to this question, But the music I like is, I would say, different than most. Maybe not. I don't know. It's up to you guys. What do you guys think of it? But I like to listen to, you know, rock, heavy metal, whatever you want to call it, metal. You know, I like that kind of stuff. And then I also like hard rap. Now, I don't really like, you know, hip-hop per se. I mean, I might be completely off with my definitions of these, but I like guys like Eminem that kind of just, like, really, like, sound like they're angry when they're rapping. I think it's kind of cool. You know, those kind of songs and artists I really like. So I would say having Eminem in, like, a metal band would be kind of cool. That would be really fun to watch. Eminem, you know, just going crazy on stage, like he probably does in concerts anyway. But behind him is, you know, a metal band instead of, you know, pretty much nobody but him. But it's, I think it'd be kind of cool. It would probably not work at all, but I would enjoy it, and it'd be fun to watch. Cam asks, do you watch any other YouTubers, and if so, who do you watch? I watch a lot of other YouTubers, not as often as I did before. I used to watch people all the time, but now I have a little bit less time. I got a lot more stuff to do, so I can't watch YouTube as much. But in the summer, I can watch them because, you know, I'm obviously off school, so I can get a little bit more, you know, YouTube viewing in. Now I watch Victionary, obviously, Texas Boy, London RTR, Ryan 915, Cullenberger, you know, pretty much all the normal MUT guys. A lot of guys like that. Recently, I've gotten to Two Bros Gaming, or Two Brothers Gaming, whatever you know, you want to say. I really enjoy his content and whatnot. There's a lot more, obviously, but those are the guys that I can think of right off the top of my head. Oh, Crowns Melt, you know, Make It Wayne, a lot of other guys. If I missed you as you were watching the video, sorry. Didn't want to miss you guys on purpose, but I watch a lot of people, and I really do enjoy, you know, watching, you know, content that's similar to mine, but also different, and get ideas, and also just, you know, kind of enjoy what people have to do on the same games that I'm playing, so I really enjoy watching those people. Now, 524 Gaming asks, what is your gaming setup like? And right now, it's kind of shoddy. I would show you guys with the webcam and whatnot, but it's just not worth it. It's really not that impressive right now. You know, I'm in the basement of my parents' house, obviously, because I'm home for, you know, summer. I'm not going to be at school during the summer, so I'm home, and it's really not that great of a setup, so I'm not even going to bother showing you guys. But when I get back up to school, I have my own room now, and my own apartment and whatnot, and it's going to be a pretty cool setup, at least I hope. So I'll show you guys then, make a little setup video and whatnot. That should be a good time. But right now, you know, it's really not worth even showing. Basically, I have, you know, a small monitor, my laptop. Yeah, it's pretty powerful, but, you know, not the best thing in the world. You know, my mic that you guys can see here, but that's about it. My Xbox and my PS4, obviously, but everything else is kind of just thrown around. The wires are everywhere, so you probably don't even really want to see my setup right now. Now, Gaming with Ty asks, will you stream any MUT 17? Now, I streamed a lot of MUT 16 right at the beginning of the game. I got it early. You know, and the FedEx delivers Madden thing, if you guys remember that from MUT Rewards or whatever. And so I streamed a lot of it then, but that was when I wasn't in school. Now, I want to stream it while I'm at school, but we'll see. I don't want to make any promises. I'm pretty busy when I'm at school. I got a lot of schoolwork to do and different things with friends and whatnot. But I would like to. I think I really want to, like, set aside one day of the week where I stream for a couple hours. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Grow my Twitch a little bit, give you guys some content to watch if you guys are bored doing homework, whatever you're doing. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. So we'll see. I know a lot of you guys want me to stream, and I would like to do it as well. But like I said, don't want to make any promises, but it is the plan of mine to stream a little bit, you know, hopefully once a week, once MUT 17 rolls around. And this question, Hans asks, what is your favorite series on this channel? So on my channel, my favorite series right now is probably the Boston Red Sox franchise. I really am enjoying it. I did a Seattle Mariners franchise last year, which I really enjoyed too, but I couldn't get as into it because I wasn't a fan of the actual team. But I'm actually, you know, a huge Red Sox fan, obviously, and I'm really, really enjoying it. The series is fun. People are picking it up. There's a lot more viewers now than there were in the Mariners franchise, and a lot of people are enjoying it. People give me tips, different feedback on what I should do, and I really enjoy that. That's probably what I enjoyed most about YouTube in general. It's just, you know, interaction with people, and I think on those videos, more than anything else, there's a ton of interaction, and I really enjoy that. So if you guys haven't seen those videos, you got to check them out. They're a lot of fun, and I put a decent amount of work into them. They're a good time, and I really do enjoy them, and I think, you know, most people have enjoyed them as well. So that's probably my favorite series, at least right now. Our final question today asks, what do you plan to do with YouTube in the future? That's a very good question and kind of an open-ended one, and I might give an open-ended response as well. Now, what I want to do and what I would love to do is once I get into, like, the quote-unquote workforce or whatever and actually, you know, begin a quote-unquote real job, whatever you want to call that, you know, once I do that, once I leave school, I would still love to do YouTube. Now, I probably wouldn't be able to do it as much. Right now, I'm currently uploading probably at least 6 videos a week, sometimes 7 or 8, or even more than that. I probably wouldn't be able to do that, maybe 3 or 4, but that's still a year away, like I said, so, or at least a year away, maybe even more. So you never know. I mean, right now, my plans are just continue YouTube, you know, do MUT 17 when that comes out, whenever MLB 17 the show comes out in like 8 months or whatever, we'll start that up, and we'll just continue on, just pressing on with my normal stuff. Now, I want to definitely continue to evolve. Like I mentioned before in a question, I would love to create a second channel like a lot of YouTubers do, and do like Let's Plays, stuff like that, live commentaries, things like that are a little bit different than what I do on my normal channel. But we'll see. I mean, it's definitely something that's up in the air. That's a possibility, but that is kind of a ways away. And I need to see where everything else in my life kind of falls into place before I actually make a decision like that to make a second channel. Because if I were to make a second channel, I'd want to make it correctly and not just kind of throw it out there and upload a video every month. I'd want to actually put a lot of time into it, put videos up like every day, like I do on my main channel. And right now, we'll see. Right now, it's probably impossible. I just don't have enough time. But maybe in my next year, if I have a little bit of time off of school before I start working, then maybe I can try something like that. But we'll see. Plans for right now, though, in YouTube in the future is just keep growing, keep enjoying it, and keep interacting with you guys. Because that's probably, like I said, the best part about this, entire thing is just interacting with people that you normally wouldn't. So that will do it for the Q&A, guys. Thank you guys so much for leaving so many comments. I had to sift through a ton of them. Had to leave out a few questions and comments as well. Didn't want to make this video, absurdly long, but it still is probably going to be pretty long. So thanks if you stick around this entire time. I really do appreciate it. Now, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.